The Kamala juggernaut is sputtering out. Now, no matter what you say, no matter what anybody says, people, especially those in the Kamala world, are thinking this isn't working. This is not working. This last minute, everything she is doing is completely consistent with somebody trying to throw it. If I didn't know better, I would swear trying to deliberately throw this by saying the most ridiculous things, by being seemingly and actually inconsistent as to any kind of methodology or plan or ideas. There are no ideas. Stealing, changing. This morning when she met with Zelensky, after she met, she just left. She got up and left. Just picked up and out the door. Out the door. Is she doing this on purpose? I'm not kidding you. Is she doing this on purpose? Is she going out of her way to throw this, to appear and make it look as though she is deliberately throwing this? Do you hear what I'm saying? It's the only thing that makes sense. Because for her to say, oh, no, she's not throwing this on purpose, that means she has just redefined incompetence at a level we have not and have never imagined. Does this make sense? Are you following what I'm saying? It's hard to understand because the only way this makes sense, the only way any of this makes sense is if we believe and come to the realization that she's throwing this on purpose. She doesn't want to win, that she's somehow doing everything in her power to say the word holistic 7, 8, 10,000 times in a sentence. Am I making any sense? Do you get what's going on? Do you think I'm kidding? I'm not just saying this. It's the only thing that makes sense. Nobody is this bad. I don't think she's stupid. I don't think it's like she's, mentally daft. There's something wrong. She's throwing this. She's sandbagging her own event, her own. I can't figure this out. It's just incredible, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much to discuss. So much. So get ready, and pay attention to what's going on right now because Uncle Lenny's going to teach you a thing or two. By the by, make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation and Lionel Legal. Did a beautiful explanation today, a live Lionel Legal live, on how, believe it or not, Eric Adams has a lot of good points as to his upgrade case. It's not necessarily foolproof, but it's pretty good. There's a lot of things he has going for him, believe it or not. And as I explained to you, I don't care about somebody's politics. I think he's a jadrul. I think he's an absolute. He's a buffoon. But I don't think he should be found I don't think he should be convicted of crimes merely because he's an idiot. If that makes any sense. Does that make any sense? I hope not. I love coffee. Now, my friends, let us start off right now with this. This is where I have a pastiche, a potpourri, a myriad, a mosaic, an absolute melange, a cornucopia of tidbits of things for your edification, perusal, and review. Let us start off with this. This is where it all took off, my friends.
To visit the border.
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Well, I
hasn't been to Europe. This is where it all started. This was a very critical point. This kind of gives you an idea, an indicium, an indication of what we were talking about. Now, you ready for this? Okay. As we say in West Tampa, que cojones, the absolute unbelievable audacity of this woman. This is an actual Kamala piece, and I swear to you, this is not a joke.
Harris has never backed down from a challenge. She put cartel members and drug traffickers behind bars, and she will secure our border. Here's her plan. Hire thousands more border agents, enforce the law and step up technology, and stop fentanyl smuggling and human trafficking. We need a leader with a real plan to fix the border, and that's Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Can you believe that? What is your reaction when you heard that? Tell me what your reaction is when you hear that. Tell me what you think when you hear that. Tell me. What words? What words? What is this? Audacious? Is it hubristic? What words come to mind? George Lenz says that interview was incriminating. It set the stage. It did. That was it. You were correct about that. That was the precursor to everything. That was it. It's incredible what this was. Absolutely, positively incredible. It was something that we still cannot believe. Now, to throw in part of the schizophrenia of this event, to throw in more, let's go back and let's look at what she also said. So now she's for it, but in 2019, this is what she said then.
We have a president of the United States who has created a fiction about a crisis at the border, and he has held up the United States government and its workers around his vanity project called a wall. And it's a distraction from the real issues. And it's a distraction from the real issues.
What words come to your mind? What words? What come? Que cojones? How? What balls do you have to actually say that? What? How it blows? Do you think this is not going to somehow make its way to the dare I say, to the plebiscite, to the voters? I think it will. I think it will. Now, my friends, I want you to understand something. You think you've got problems? Crypto Domini says, big dick from Chicago here. I hope you all give it a like. Thank you. Yes, please like this. Thank you. Thank you for please liking this. That is the currency of this. Let me show you something which you think you got problems. Here's one for you. This is one which I think says it all. This is an explosion, I believe, in China. This was actual, dare I say, poop that exploded everywhere, landing on road cars, people and pets. The moment this is a sewage pipe pressure test in Nanning failed. I thought it was Nanning. The scene of horror shows egesta and feces falling from the sky. So don't have, there's an expression when it hits the fan. Imagine this. Just for a moment. Just think for a minute. You're thinking, oh my God, it's a terrible day. What could go wrong? What are we going to do? Just imagine this. Are you ready? All ready? Please tell the kids to leave the room. Watch this. Look at it. Kind of an orange mist. Imagine the feculent. Look at that, huh? Imagine that. And it's hitting. Look at this.
Kịch bản là cha vi phạm gì nhiều càn rồi.
So let me tell you something. Just imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. So just remember, things could be worse. Things could be worse. Just imagine what that is. Imagine the odoriferous feculence, the fetid aroma permeating, the perfume, the eau de lipup saturating the atmosphere in China. Wow. Wow, indeed. Well, did you see today? Mr. Zelensky meeting with President Trump? I think this says it all. I think that says it all, and I think there was something. Now, today, Mrs. L was most alarmed by this. The best, I think his name is Bill Malugin. He's probably the best reporter they have at Fox. That thing is turning into just, I don't even watch it. I do not watch that. I don't watch that. Ineffable, crypto. Ineffable, indeed. Inelectable. This today was probably the most horrid of anything. Watch this, dear friend.
Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me start off again. I don't think you heard that. I don't think you heard it. Listen to this again.
The Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States. The letter here tells the tale. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. You believe this, Sandra?
Which means they are here, and this is just an unbelievable development. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Good to be with you, John. This is America Reports. Let's get right to Bill Malugin. He's got this news for us. He's live out of Douglas, Arizona right now, where...
By the way, Bill Malugin, this is the best reporter they've got. This is the best reporter they've got. This young man has earned my respect, and I respect virtually no one.
Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit later this afternoon. Bill, the details of this news. What do you have?
Look at the wall.
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered deported from the country by a judge but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault, and there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating it could hit 8 million by the end of the year. But looking at the numbers on this letter right here, there are currently over 600,000 non-citizens on ICE's non-detained docket who are either convicted, or 600,000 non-citizens on this non-detained docket who are roaming the country right now. Of that, 425,000 have already been convicted of crimes. 222,000 are pending crimes. And again, the most serious crimes we just told you about.
What do you think about that? And they're voting. How much do you want to bet these bastards are voting? What do you think about that? Huh? How does that make you feel? What words, what thoughts go through your mind? That's up, by the way, honey, that thing I put up for you. What goes through your mind? Tell me about that. Tell me, what would you say to a Kamala supporter or a Democrat? What would you say? What would you say? Explain this one to me. How does this work? Explain that. How did this ever happen? What country do we live in? This is Mayorkas. Who is ordering this? I don't think Joe Biden woke up one day and said, I've got an idea. Hear me out. We're going to let in all these bad people. We're going to let them in, and we're going to let them saturate and permeate every square inch of our beloved constitutional republic. Sexual perverts, degenerates, assaulters, rapacious criminals, murderers. We're going to let them in, and we're going to just let them go. And we don't know where they're going. We don't know where they're going. They're just going to go. They're going to end up someplace. And if they end up in Springfield, Ohio, we'll say they're somehow racist. We are going to, it will take decades, maybe, to find out how many of these people are here. Where do they go? How do we get them out? While Joe Biden walked around, soiling his britches, while Kamala rambled on with her logorrhea and her emotional incontinence, while all of this was going on, without anyone paying attention, this is what happened to our country. Now, you explain this to me and tell me how the Democrats think this is a good idea. Tell me, just for no other reason. Because if you pick her, now she says we're going to do her stuff the fentanyl because she realizes I don't have any. And what she will do, if we could sit her down, if we could say, now listen, I want you to understand. Crypto says they're playing pin the tail on the donkey. Indeed. Figuratively, certainly they are. And if you sat down, Crypto, our friend Dick, if you said we could give her some kind of shot of sodium pentothal or some truth agent, he said, tell me what this is about. Tell me where is this from? Why did this happen? Who are these people? She would say to you, I don't know. We came in. No, answer me. Well, I'll tell you. And you can bring in Joe. These people came in and told us what to do. We didn't want this. I never wanted this. Do you think Kamala seriously? And my favorite part, because this to me I think people have a hard time understanding this. I really do. I think when you tell people this, they sort of, well, whatever. I don't think for a moment that she had any kind of a penchant, any kind of predilection or predisposition for allowing in and welcoming, multi-gender degeneracy and lunacy. I don't think for a moment. I really don't. I don't think that's one of her things. George Len says numerous NGOs responsible for these episodes. But what is the purpose behind this? I think she would say, look, we don't know. We honest to God don't know. What do they want? What would an NGO want? These people live here. The people with the NGOs live in our country, right? Don't they? Yes, they do. Tell me, what do they want? What's the purpose? Well, the reason why we want to flood, it's one thing to bring in voters, okay, fine. But when you flood the country with homicidal maniacs and criminals, what's the reason for that? Nobody can answer. Nobody can answer. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Carney says, exploding poop in China. Joe Biden crapping his pants. What a poo story. LOL. Great show. Thank you. And I think there is something to be said for that. There is something about that story that, hitting the fan and it's but you're not able to answer my question. Nobody is. What do you think? What is the purpose? Hey, I'm a part of an NGO. Well, our goal is to destroy the United States. Freedom, our good friend said. Freedom says, so did the laughing woman ever show up anywhere along the borders where the illegals work in every day? But I saw Trump all over our country every day speaking facts and his policies every day on live TV. Honey, did you see her or she was just walking around, huh? 3-second clip of her walking along the wall, and that's crazy because that's Trump's wall. Do you think they're actually saying, don't vote for me? Don't vote for me. I'm throwing this. I'm doing everything in my power. I'm saying the word holistic incorrectly every 5 seconds. I'm going crazy. Linda Hasler says, this is frightening. No, Linda, this is beyond. This is terrifying. This is mind-numbing, breathtaking. What is the purpose behind this? I'm not kidding you. Nobody can answer me. Well, they want to destroy. Why do they want to destroy the? Is it the same people that are trying to destroy other countries in Europe as well? What is the purpose of so many people trying to infuse? It's one thing to sit there and say, you know what, we want more tourism. Let me tell you something, my friends. I will tell you. Mrs. Elwin and I will tell you. We are beneficiaries of living in one of the best places because of the multiplicity and heterogeneity of everyone. Would you like to go? Do you like food? We will take you to the beautiful Astoria in Queens. Some of the most incredible Greek food you've ever seen. Do you like Middle Eastern food? Tell you, I know where to go there. On the way what's that great place we go on the way to Kennedy Airport? Where all those, is that the Midtown? Not the Midtown. What do you call it? The BQE or whatever it is. The coming out of the Midtown Tunnel. What is that called? 490. What is that called? You know, we drive. They have all these places on the right. They have all these shawarma places and yeah. But what's the name of that main drag? It's driving me crazy. Yeah, LA. Okay. If you want to go to, you like Russian food and Latvian, you like Ukrainian food, like, take you to Little Odessa in Brooklyn, Brighton Beach. Great Italian food. Oh, Arthur Avenue. Forgot the leave. Arthur Avenue. Enzo's, I still love that. You want to I will take Chilean food, Peruvian food, Indian food, Japanese, Chinese. Want to go to Little Korea 24 hours a day? God bless these people. They come here. They make this place great. the smells, the hard work, you have no idea. Walking outside, walking down the hall, I hear people, they're from Spain. I hear real Spanish. So I've got no problem at all with people from other countries. None at all. Welcome. They're lined up, they're doing their thing? Sure, that's terrific. We're right now working with a woman who is, I'll just go into detail, who is trying to go through the hoops, and it's the biggest pain in the ass you've ever seen. And this woman and her family would any community, believe me, would want them, but they're doing it the right way. It's hell on wheels. So I just want you to know right off the bat, I'm not one of these people that says, "Oh, this is America." No, not at all. George Len says, Little Korea is on the way to the cutting room. Yes, it is. You are right down the street. That is correct. Absolutely. My favorite place, Juan Joe. 24 hours, unbelievable. That's all I got to say. Now, here's the story. Why? What is happening? Who is responsible for this? What is going on here? How is it that so many degenerate, and we have one person that we know that we just completely cut all ties with, and she lives in New York, and I'm saying, what are you? Forget Trump. How are you actually allowing this? Well, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Again, it's not people from other countries. It's criminal types. What do they need to hear? It's ICE. It's their ICE. It's Biden's ICE. What happened to this place? What happened? Think about this. Think about somebody you love. Think about your grandmother, grandfather. You've got normally grandparents always have it. Paw. You got some name or something like that. And Paw or Bebo or whatever comes back and he somehow says, well, what did I miss? Like, we're not going to believe this. You know, when you fought in World War II, yeah, well, look at this. I don't understand what the hell this is. What is it? These people they're dumping off criminals here. In 1980, right around 80, I just graduated from college at the time, and I was working for a U.S. senator at the time, and it was during the Mariel boat lift. Mariel Harbor. Marielito was the name of the Scarface types, like which is the worst. Why you talking to me? He's doing a Mexican Cheech Marin. It's not Cuban. It's the worst accent ever. Anyway, so at the time I was very involved in this. And what Castro did was he made a deal. He said, I will let you pick up your family members. And all these people from Tampa, Miami took these boats and they brought cash. I mean, they went and they liquidated bank accounts. And they had people with guns and satchels, hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash to get their loved ones back. Because Castro said, I'm letting you come into Mariel Harbor. It comes into Mariel. And there was a gunboat, and these ships would come in, and they would wait. And then they say, we're getting your people. Give us the name of your family member. Okay, we're going to get them. You stay right there. And there was no way for you to call your family member to let them know you're coming. But what they would do is they would go through your money. Oh, do you want a bar of soap? It's $100. Oh, you want a bottle of rum? That's $500. Oh, you want to buy, and they just milked them. So finally, after whatever period of time, Castro says, okay, give us the name of your family member. And all of a sudden, buses came in, school buses, and all these degenerates were getting off and coming on board. And they're saying, who's this guy? This isn't Tio Juancito or something. He goes, no, he may be on some other. We don't have time to apportion. All right, Fernandez over here. So he's probably on the other boat, but turn around and get out. And they're surrounded by gunboats with machine guns. And they say, okay, so we have to leave. these people that I knew actually had this guy. They had to wrap him in anchor chain. He was out of his mind. Imagine somebody in a Cuban insane asylum, no medication, no drugs, just the worst of the worst. They brought him back, and they were degenerates. These were the Marielitos. They were nothing compared to this. The Miami also had Little Haiti, the Chrome Avenue detention, where the Haitians came. This was big. They turned out to be pretty wild, but nothing like this. When the Cubans came from, they were really, they were for the most part not bad people. That's not what we're talking here. I had a friend of mine who passed away. He used to work in restaurants. They told me, he says, here in New York, he said, he never knew anything. He never knew anything until he worked in a restaurant. He said he never knew. And the people who come to the back door, the people who come to dishwashers, they will do anything. And they are so poor. They're from countries and they all sleep. He told me one time, Chinese a little bit different. But in Flushing, in his apartment complex, they had in front of the Chinese, in front of the apartment door, there may be 20 pairs of shoes, the slippers. There's just, you can't believe it, but they're working. And he said that when you meet these people, first of all, you don't understand poverty like you see with these people. Anything you wanted to buy, up to and including children, girls, family members, sisters, anything. It wasn't a matter of morality. The mindset was they were born into this squalor, and they had names of people. They had the name of, like a girl, Maria. She's no birth certificate. You don't know who she is. They're just here. And they're very distrustful of the government. So they don't run to hospitals. They have a baby here and that's it. So if you want to purchase people, if you want to purchase children or girls, no problem. And it's not because they are per se immoral, but it's because of the fact that they know poverty, such abject poverty, the likes of which you cannot even imagine. And then there are people who also come here who know a crime level that we don't. I told you there's a fellow on YouTube. His name is Hootie. I think it's Anthony Russo, and he does a show called Hootie's Social Club. He's a mob guy, turned his life around, did prison time, very eloquent, very, very eloquent. And I like his style. And he was telling a story. He said, when he was in the business, he thought, I'm going to go to Mexico, and I'm going to buy dope. I'm going to buy marijuana or whatever it was myself. I'm going to cut out the middleman. Now, this is a guy from Ozone Park, as tough as you can get. Grew up with the toughest mob guys in America. And he went to Mexico. And they said, they will use your organs for spare parts. Get out of here. The point that I'm saying is that you have never seen anything like this. And let me tell you something. Nelson A. knows. Nelson says, have a great weekend, Uncle Lenny and Mrs. L. My parents came from Cuba via sponsorship at such a beautiful island, Cuba Libre. Cuba si, Castro no. Oh, the Cubans are another. I can tell you so much about them. Greatest people in the world. And such patriots. But I want you to understand something. There are people, and I hate to say it, but there are people from different parts of the world. Did you see this? The president, I believe, of Haiti Did you see this at the UN? This will shock you more than anything else. This is the president of Haiti. He's in New York. And he found the notion of the pitcher of water to be confounding. Watch this. At your own peril.
Respect for its dignity.
Respect for its dignity. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. This is the president. This is the highest level of panache.
Respect for its dignity.
That's all I'm going to tell you. One more time. The horror of this man. I don't even know what to tell you. That to me shocks me more than anything. This poor man. Did somebody say, "What are you doing?" Do you ever go someplace and somebody brings the finger bowl? Do you ever see sometimes like they used to have at like a Chinese restaurant, like a finger bowl? You know, where you put your fingers in the water and somebody will try to drink it. You know, you want to say, "Hey." So what's it going to be, my friends? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Is Kamala going to make it? Why does she bother with this? Why is she even pretending to care about the border? Does this make any sense to you? Seriously, does this make any sense to you? Does any of this make any sense to you? I don't know. I'm just and I'm going to say this. I cannot imagine if Donald Trump does not win. I'm telling you, I can't understand it. I can't. It's like if one day the sun just doesn't come up anymore. It's like, that's it. Or the sun doesn't go down anymore. Or all of a sudden rain comes from the bottom up. Or I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with this. Now, my friends, two things. First, in the discussion section, I have for you listed two of our sponsors. One is preparewithlionel.com. This is, have you seen preparewithlionel.com? The greatest, the best, the wisest food preparation, emergency food there is. Nothing you can do. Don't think, well, I got cans. No, these are in waterproof, beautiful buckets, 25-year, these oxygen, these special reusable. There's nothing that you can do with somebody goes, well, we got ramen noodles. No. This is for the long run. You can do a year, 90 days, a week. Because I got news for you right now. If all of a sudden they said, guess what? We can't go to the store. If I locked your door, if I just locked you in, how long could you go? I mean, you'll find something. You've got kids. How long will you go before you start freaking out? And you realize, I don't have anything. Now, a lot of people have cupboards and things. Really? Okay, good for you. Many people don't. But then you realize, you go, you know what? This combination is not as, I thought I had a lot more. We ran out of the spaghetti. What do we do? I don't know. I thought I got some banana chips here. This is day 2. You got to go a week and you've got kids. What are you going to do? Well, we got a freezer. Okay, knock yourself out. Can you go a week? Are you ready to go? No, nobody can even imagine it. Preparewithlionel.com. It makes the most sense in the world. It's that simple. Preparewithlionel.com. And then on a lighter note, on a more luxurious note, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. mypillow.com / that solidus or virgule Lionel. The best. The absolute best. The best. October 26th, cutting room. The information is there. Let me tell you a great story about Cuba. I had a friend of mine who would go. If this guy is not a spook, he's a law school buddy of mine. He used to go to Cuba when nobody could go. I said, "How do you do this?" I don't know. I said, Okay. Well, anyway, he went and he would show me. He was one of the first people to have a videotape, a big. I mean, don't ask me how he did it, but he would do it. So he went there and he said, if you're a young man and you're looking to have your way with any island vixen, anybody, if you want to be the biggest thing anybody's ever seen, there's a store they had where only special people can go, emissaries and envoys and whatever. And if you walk into a family and said, I got a 3-speed fan here, have the pick. I hate to be this crude. The women will throw themselves at you for a fan. Oh, that's it. You're it. He thought it was an exaggeration. It was a fan. You know, one of the, like I got a Wuzu here, which is the best. I love this thing. It's perfect. But one of these, forget it. So anyway, so he went there and he has this 19-year-old, 18, 19, his kind of cousin that he's never met before. And he's showing me this. I got this video. There's no screens. It's wild. This is in the middle of, these are like guajiros, you know. Anyway. So he's in there and he's talking in Spanish. And he says, he goes to the toilet because he wanted to show the way they lived so he could show his mother. So he goes to the bathroom and he says, where's the toilet seat? To this kid. And in Spanish, he's saying this. And the kid says, what are you talking about? And he's filming this. And the kid said, what do you mean? He goes, the toilet seat. And he just had the toilet without it. And he says, you see these 2 holes here? This is where the toilet seat goes. You know, with a lid. And he's going like this. This kid doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't think he's ever seen one. He's going like this. Okay, what does this mean? He says, you know, the lid. Kid doesn't know what he's talking about. So my friend goes to the store where the fans are and he buys, and he goes, look what I've got. He goes, it's a toilet seat. And it's a different color, but the 2 bolts work perfectly. He puts it on. He goes, here, knock yourself out. So they're all sitting on it. They're lifting up the lid and they're sitting. He says, oh my God. And he realizes, oh my God, I've been squatting like an animal. He's got thighs like Jean-Claude Killy. You know, he's a whole, anyway. The guy's upset. He says, I'm an animal. I go, no, you're not an animal. No, I can't. I feel so stupid. And I'm watching this. Okay. At that time, this kid loved Marvin Gaye. This was years ago. Don't ask me why. He loved Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye this, Marvin Gaye that. Marvin Gaye this. He had a Marvin Gaye t-shirt. He didn't know anything about the Beatles. For some reason, Marvin Gaye was it. Marvin Gaye, as you know, Marvin Gaye is so sad, who was 44 years old before the father got him. But anyway, so my friend is there and he says, look, and he went and they're filming him. And he has a picture of, Freedom says, me and wife have mics, king bed and sheets and pillows. I'm retired oil field man and commercial truck driver. Best sleep, Lionel, ever in my life. American made and stands for Trump 110%. Freedom, you could not have said it better myself, my friend. Thank you for that. You hear that? You hear that? Thank you, sir. Well, anyway, so going back to the rain. Oops, pardon me. So as he's looking for this stuff and he's showing him the whatever, he says, by the way, look what I got you. And they're showing him this. He goes, look, he got a bag of some like Sam Goodies or whatever it was. He says, look, here's an album. Marvin Gaye is, oh my God. The guy's crying, Marvin Gaye. He goes, here's a Marvin Gaye t-shirt. You know what's going on? Oh my God. Muchísimas gracias. He goes, oh, wait. Espérate, I got more. And then we got this. And then there's a poster. Even got him a CD. And he says, what's this? He goes, well, one day you're going to have a CD. Got him a CD of Marvin Gaye. And he's looking and he goes, what is this? It's this disc. This is sad. I mean, it's like primitive, but he's showing him this. He goes, nope. He goes, he was the only one in part of the island. and they're showing this thing, and Marvin Gaye t-shirts and Marvin Gaye posters and Marvin Gaye this and Marvin Gaye this. And his friend, the kid's like this, and he's like, thank you, Marvin Gaye. So help me God, as he goes, oh, by the way, I don't know if you knew this or not. And he's looking, he goes, what? He goes, Marvin Gaye's dead. He said, what? Dead? Yeah, his father killed him. He goes, dead. He went from the heights of happiness. His whole world crashed. He'd been squatting like an animal in the toilet. Marvin Gaye's dead. And I mean, this poor kid, he's just, I told him, I said, why didn't you break it to him a little easier? Okay, listen to this story. There's an animal called a hutia. And a hutia is this weird, look at it, Jutia, hutia, or Hutia. It's like it's a hutia. It's a Jutia or hutia. It's a large cavy-like rodent that inhabit the Caribbean islands. They're restricted to Cuba. They're known as the Greater Antilles. And it's anyway, it looks like a big rat. It's called a hutia. Not a hudia is like a Jew. You got to be careful how you say it, but it's a hutia. So listen to this. This is the video. You got to understand this. Scene number one, hutia is in the how do I say this? He's in the cage, and my friend is feeding him lettuce or whatever it was. Okay. Next scene, they're eating something, eggs with some kind of meat or something, and he's eating. Third scene, the cage is empty. It's the hutia. It was perfect. You couldn't write this better. So my friend says, I want to take this back. I don't want to take this back home. This hutia. This wonderful thing. Linda says, I'm not a fan of Adams, but I think that got him because of his complaint about the illegals. Part of it. I think that certainly was a great motivator for sure. And if you watch, by the way, on Lionel Legal, I explain how he is probably looking at acquittal, if not a hung jury, for a lot of the charges. All right. So thank you, by the way. So my friend says, I want to take this hutia back. And I want to, because he's a lawyer, and he says, maybe my clients will recognize it. We don't have it in Miami, so I'm going to take it. And he had to get special permission. He comes back with this thing packed in ice, this dead, gutted it out. This dead, whatever this thing is rodent, and he got it. Anyway, he got it. Somehow he got this to Miami. I swear to God, I think he's a spook. I think he's with the CIA. I don't know how. Anyway. So he brings this to a taxidermist in Miami, and the taxidermists all say like, oh, I know everything. And obviously you want to know something about the way the animal is in real life, what its behavior is like, what its demeanor is like. So my friend says, you know what this is, right? He says, of course I know what it is. He doesn't know what it is. It's like this big rat. So he said, you take everything? Of course I can take everything. It's a taxidermist. So he goes to pick it up, and he gets it, and it's like this. Baring its teeth and its claws. He goes, what is this? He goes, this. He goes, no, it's docile. What is this? What is? And he's like, imagine a squirrel, or a rabbit, something that's very docile. But this guy made it look like it's rabbit or something. So he had it on his desk, and all of his Cuban clients said, this looks like a hutia, but I don't think it goes, none of that. He goes, it is. Why was it like that? It's a long story. The worst story of them all. My friend's family, they bring the abuelo, the grandfather, back to Miami. This guy has never been out of the country, never been out of Cuba ever. There was a story he told one time. This got me. They had no oil. They had no oil for cooking. And the story goes, and I don't know if this is true or not, bear with me, but the story is that there was a person in a hospital who would take fat from cadavers. And anyway, this is how bad it was. Bad. If they found out that you were hoarding papas or yuca or something, they'd kill you. There's a firing squad. So food to this guy was just, he couldn't believe it. This was bad. So he comes straight from the airport. He's in Miami. And they said, this poor guy he had to hide like potatoes, papa and yuca and all this, hide it just for extra start in any event. So they show up, and I think it was a place called an Albertsons. It's not even a Costco, but it's a big supermarket in Miami, Florida. And they walked in, they didn't think anything of it. They walk in with this guy, and he looks around. This is straight from the airport. There's no flight. My God, it's like 10 minutes from Cuba. But he gets off and he walks into this Albertsons. It's the biggest story he's ever seen. He starts like grabbing his chest. Now they're not noticing him because they're just going with a list. And he's just kind of walking about. He's never seen this before. He went to the meat section. He couldn't believe it. He's like clutching his chest. I don't know how old he was, but he was a grandfather. And he's seeing row upon row, endless roasts and chicken and pork. And he can't believe it. Vegetables, this. But the thing that got him, the one that just wiped him out, where he collapsed crying, they had to leave. He was hyperventilating. They thought he wasn't going to make it, was the cookie row. Cookies. Pepperidge Farm and this and that and vanilla wafers. That killed him. He said, so they get him in the car. He's crying. They kind of calm him down. He kind of comes to, and he says, you are so lucky to live in a city that has the store. The little granddaughter says, no, abuelo, that's just one. Look, mira, there's another one. And he went through it all over again. We have no sense of how lucky we are. We have no sense. And even though these people are wonderful and they come here, there are some of these folks who live in a world of lawlessness, and it's nothing we've ever seen. You think Crips and Bloods? No. This is, and there were a lot of folks too, especially during the 80s, in particular, when the cocaine, doing criminal law, a lot of the cocaine folks, the cowboys out of Miami, and I mean, these people were scary. I mean, really scary. Great clients, but scary. Freedom says, you are a class act, Lionel, a mix of Mark Levin with the comic relief and the strength of George Carlin all in one. It's beautiful poetry. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. By the way, Mark Levin is a sweetheart. Don't ever let anybody fool you. I know he yells and screams, but he's one of the nicest people. What I'm trying to tell you, perhaps circuitously, is that these people are dangerous. You don't want them here. You don't want them here. And I don't mean foreigners, but I mean some people who are like Tren de Aragua. Oh my God. They make MS-13 look like the Junior League. Okay? This is another story. And we've got these folks who are here. And as you know, when people travel in packs, they lose any sense of humanity, and they can out of nowhere become vicious. We got to put an end to this. We're not kidding around here. We're not kidding around. I mean, we're a wonderful country, and bring us your tired and your Emma Lazarus and all that, your yearning to be free and all that other nonsense to a point. In any event, my friends, I want to thank you. I want to make sure you follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Do what I say. She has an interview with a young lady. Huh? It'll be live in 3 minutes. It is wait till you hear this young lady's story. You can't believe it. It's just, you cannot believe it. And the Diddy stuff is so. Also, online illegal, I have a story. The one who really scares me the most, Bieber. Remember, hurt people hurt people. And when Diddy and others exhibit this kind of behavior, they themselves, you don't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to enjoy this particular version of inhumanity. No, it's something that is taught you and something that conditions you. All right, dear friends, I love you madly. Miss you so badly. Freedom, thank you. Linda Hazlitt, thank you. Nelson A. George Lenz, thank you, dear friends. Freedom, you are tremendous. Dennis Kearney, by the way, or Kearney, thank you. You've been wonderful. I want you to have a great and a glorious and a wonderful day. Please pray. I don't pray, so I need you to help pray. Please, Donald Trump has to win. I don't even think I have to tell you. I probably will walk out into the street with my mouth open, just cars, just walking out. I can't imagine. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. It would be like, again, if gravity were reversed or something. I can't see that. I can't see it happening. I don't know. I'm not here to make fun of her or she's stupid or whatever. I don't know what she is. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what their mission is, but it appears by all appearances to destroy our constitutional republic. And we're not going to let that happen. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And until then, remember these final words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.